This is episode 577 for October 2019. And you're listening to the Spider-Man Crawlspace podcast, and I'm your host, Brad Douglas. That opening music is a great rendition of the 90s Spider-Man theme song, and it's on the YouTube channel Samuel Kim Music. So check that out. He's done a lot of renditions of scores, which we may sample in future episodes. They're really well done. Before we get to the episode, I want to thank people that made this episode possible. They support us through Patreon.com. They help us pay the expensive bills that it costs to host this podcast and our website. So I want to give some thanks out to Robert B., James, Alex, Frazetta Hulk, David C., Laura, Mohammed, Jeffrey, Chris, Dowd, Zach, Thomas, Ricky, Matthew, Michael N., Jonathan, Craig, Avengi, Patrick, Andrew, Michael K., Halfskimo, JB, Glenn, Austin, Stephen, Stewart, Stephen S., AJ, Jay, Alex, Scott, Kian, Brian, Nick, Taylor, Will, SymbioBro, hashtag something good for you, Christopher, Frederick, and Stephen. If you would like to support things you like this podcast, log on to patreon.com/crawlspace, and you can do that. You also get exclusive content when you're a Patreon member, like our Spider Satellite podcast, which we often review more than 20 different titles that aren't amazing. They're pretty good, but they're not amazing. Also, we have the Absolute Carnage review podcast, and we have also video podcasts on there that you can see. Again, patreon.com/crawlspace. You help the site, and we give you a little bit of thanks in return. All right, Spider News, let's get on with it. Hey, Crawl Spacers, welcome to our Spider News. Let's introduce the panel. We've got Mike. What's up, Mike?
Glad to be back on, though I can only stay for maybe a couple of minutes because I have to get up early in the morning.
All right.
Yeah, but
it's only 11:21 at night.
You live on the West Coast.
I'm talking.
You are such an old man.
Hey, tomorrow's Sunday. I got church. So that's
so Zach, the person you heard interrupt Mike was Zach. What's going on, Zach?
Well, he is my clone, so therefore I have to treat him like a redheaded stepchild.
Yeah.
So it's great to be here. Remember to like, share, and subscribe on the Spider-Man Crawlspace YouTube page.
There you go.
Hit the bell.
JR, what's going on, JR? How are you, sir?
Well, I was going to say if Mike's going to church tomorrow, maybe he could just pray to God to give him the stamina to last throughout the entire podcast and go to church tomorrow.
Well, we're
I should have thought about doing that, JR. You got a good point.
Oh my gosh! All right,
thank you, Vinkman. I am getting everybody's revenge for all the.
We've offended already, JR. What's going on, George?
I want to say something at the top.
All right, feel free.
As I'm noticing my George Suckett Joiner Berryman tag. I poke a lot of fun at Spidey Dude.
Oh.
Spidey Dude is a lot like my little brother from another mother.
Mm-hmm.
And I give him a hard time about a lot of things, but look at the guy. I love you, Spidey Dude.
Oh.
I love you.
And hold on a second, guys.
Here's the thing. I give Zach a hard time. I poke fun at Zach a lot, but you would be hard pressed. You would be hard pressed to find a more generous friend, a more giving friend, and a more true and loyal friend than you would with Zach Joyner. Zach Joyner, you're a quality human being.
Thank you.
Good. Okay, now go insult him.
I'm waiting for his ADD to kick in, and he's going to start playing with a toy. There you go. I'm back on script. How does that work?
All right. That voice you just complimented Zach was George. What's going on, George?
What?
What? Wait a minute. I just introduced you. Then you said it. Okay.
Hi, everybody. How's it going? I'm glad to be here. You know what? Right at the top, I want to say something. I know I give Zach a lot of crap. I treat him like a brother from another mother.
Wiping the tears of joy.
God almighty, take your fish oil, Douglas.
And once again, I am back as soon as there's a great humorous joke that I completely missed and have no context for.
Wow,
that's great.
Take your fish oil. I hate fish. I'm not taking no oil from him either. All right, we've got Peter. What's going on, Chi-Town?
I'm not
Chicago?
here. Just go. I'm not here.
You are here, man.
Wash your mouth out, George.
Chi-Town, dat what she said, Spidey is what we got going from.
That's what she said.
That's what she said. Okay, so we've got Spider News. We've got a lot of weird off-the-wall stuff. We've got some big news. We'll lead with the big news. So we've got... Oh, I should have had
So we're going to start with Spider Crime.
We're not. We're going to talk about... we're going to talk about Sony and Marvel kissed and made up. What?
Two divorced parents.
Take me through this. Who's got this one?
I do.
All right, Mike, take me through this.
Well, as our podcast listeners may know,
you leave Holland out of it.
Oh, because I know. Okay, fine. I will leave that for some other person. But when we were last, some of you may know that we had a special podcast episode about the Sony and Marvel Studios divorce over Spider-Man. Basically, it came down to monetary money negotiations. Marvel wanted to have 25% to finance the film, but in exchange for 25% of profits. Sony said no. Then Disney bumped that up to 50-50, and then Sony says nope, we're leaving. The entire internet freaked out. All Spider-Man fans freaked out. People thought, this is the MCU is over because now Spider-Man's not going to be in anymore. We're going to get no more Iron Boy. And everyone was like, and everybody was just in a fit. Everyone was just in a fit of depression.
I'm a real Iron Boy.
Not everyone.
Not everyone was, but I mean, most people were. Well,
Iron Boy.
It seemed at the 11th hour, probably from the help of some person, which we will reveal shortly, they decided, you know what? For the sake of the fans, we're going to try to work something out. So Sony agreed to 25 to have, and we agreed with Marvel so that now we are going to have that they are going to split that Marvel will agree to finance Sony's the third Spider-Man film for 25% of it in exchange for 25% of the profits, which incidentally was the original deal that they offered. So what did Sony really gain? And also it would also mean that Tom Holland Spider-Man will once again appear in another Marvel Studios film as part of their agreement, or maybe more. So that is the situation we are now. So
Spider-Man 3 off the mark still.
For the record, what did Sony gain? They gained
animosity from fans.
But they also gained the ability to take Holland and put them into their Marvel extended universe. So okay, that's a very important aspect for Sony. At it, but it's still an important. That's a big win.
Basically, Sony tried to play hardball, and you probably remember, folks, that I was kind of figured that Sony did the right thing by walking away, but after this, it's like, again, you didn't really do much. You didn't really gain much except for what Zach said. So, but hey, so far everybody's happy. Everything's copacetic, I guess.
So Sony and Disney agreed. Let's make more money together, as opposed to separately. Is what the deal is.
Because at the end of the day, because what this would have done is that basically the fans were already revolted. You probably remember that there was a bunch of guys that were going to picket outside the Sony lots, like that Area 51 raid.
I want to see somebody Naruto running.
Is it Naruto or Naruto? I've been saying Naruto.
God damn, Brad.
Naruto,
I guess it's Naruto.
You can't use the internet, can you, Douglas?
No, go to Steam-a-Scare and suck
Naruto. Is that one of them Naruto runs? Is that how they say it in Missouri?
That is. That's how they say it in Missouri.
Naruto running.
Naruto running, man.
Are you going to sit on the porch? No, I'm Naruto running today.
I'm going to sit here and chew on that tobacco.
Okay.
And spit it in the tube.
Go around the horn. Are you happy this deal is made? Mike, yes or no?
Actually, I kind of am. I mean, it's no different than what we had kind of before. So,
Zach, are you happy?
Just the only loss is, go ahead.
Yeah, let's do yes or no. Simple yes or no around the horn. So yes out of Mike. Sure. Zach, yes or no?
Yes.
JR, are you happy this deal was made?
Well, I'm happy about nothing. I'm agnostic about it. I really don't care.
You don't care. George, happy or not?
Care.
I'm in the same boat as JR. This was a damned if you do, damned if you don't thing.
Yeah. Chi-Town, who's not seen Far From Home because he...
No, he has.
I saw it.
You did?
He finally did.
So I'm the only one who stood by principle and refused to see it?
No, I said I would not. No, hold on there. I said I would not pay to go see it.
Oh, okay.
And so I watched it for free, and that's 2 hours I'll never get back. But
oh, it's not that bad. Come on.
No,
happy the deal is made.
Stop.
Happy the deal is made.
Peter Tingle. Okay, enough said.
Well, that was a
more like Peter Tinkle. Am I right?
Happy? Yes or no? Are you happy the deal is made, Peter? No, you're not. Okay. So let's talk a bit about Mike. He's also signed up for one more film in the Marvel universe. What film do we think? My guess is Fantastic Four.
That would be a good one, but I'm kind of thinking smart. because Marvel clearly wants Tom Holland Spider-Man to be like the new face of this MCU after Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man. I'm kind of thinking they're going to put him in another Avengers film.
God.
I'm just laughing at what Hershey just wrote on YouTube chat. Far From Home is a dog's breakfast. Oh my gosh!
What, little Gordon Ramsay there for
you think the next
dog's
film
breakfast?
The next film, if I was Sony and I was a bean counter at Sony, I would insist on another Avengers movie. Is what I would do.
Yeah, I think that's what they're going to go for.
Zach,
that's going to be that
film
play there.
Spider-Man will appear in Zach.
Now, you might, if those of you that are the audio listeners, you might not have heard me discuss Far From Home on the Friday Night Fights episode after we got done with the Friday Night Fights show.
In which case, you haven't missed anything.
Shut up. But I had said Secret Wars was going to be that next Marvel movie, and I'm just sticking to it.
I can see the subtitle now: Avengers: Secret Wars.
They can't do Secret Wars as a film because Bert Convy is dead, and the only person that could play the Beyonder is Bert Convy. With that hair.
There's a giant game of Hollywood Squares.
Well, okay.
Battle World, and it's just win, lose,
I want
to
scene where a CGI. I want a scene where a CGI Colossus is sitting there thinking he can't wait for Kitty Pryde to become legal so he can have sex.
Wow.
JR's second scene he's looking forward to is the black turd to drop for the suit, and JR can hear the sound effect. Plop. Yeah.
The only thing I would be looking forward to is
I want to see Ben Grimm patty cake. I want to see Ben Grimm patty cake.
The only thing I would be looking forward to would be to see Spider-Man beat X-Men ass.
Okay, Zach, the Avengers movie is your guess. Next film?
Secret Wars.
I'm sorry. JR, what's your next film do you think Tom Holland will be in?
Captain Marvel 2.
Oh, that would be a waste. That would be a waste.
Oh, don't do that to me.
You're listening to the Midnight. That's a
film?
Midnight Edge guess right there.
George, next film Tom Holland appears in that's on Marvel's side.
Doctor Strange Multiverse.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That would be good. That would be good.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Peter.
I don't know. Don't care.
All right. Let's.
All right, crotchety old man too.
Moving on to the next topic.
I didn't get to get.
Go ahead, George.
I didn't get
talk.
to weigh in on this hardly.
Feel free.
All right. So here's what I think, or what I like to think happened. Somebody at Sony who actually does accounting went to Rothman and said, "Here's the deal. You think after Venom, which was a garbage movie that made money, you think after Venom and Spider-Verse that you can do this the way that Disney does it. You like Pac-Led, you think you've learned something. You've learned nothing. We can't do this. We cannot make these films to make this much money for as little money as they do it. We'll never be able to do that. We don't have the infrastructure to do it. We can't do it." So I think Sony suddenly was looking at the prospect of making 100% of a lot less money, because let's face it, Spider-Man with no connection to the MCU is not going to make near as much money.
No.
Especially as pissed off as a lot of those fans were. I mean,
oh yeah,
they were blowing Twitter the hell up.
The normies were pissed.
And so Sony was looking at the prospect of making 100% of a lot less.
Oh, yeah.
Or 75% of big boy money, like they've been making with the MCU. And I think cooler heads prevailed, and somebody finally pulled somebody aside and said, you know what? Maybe we take the 25% because maybe we want to make more money.
Well, interesting enough, George, you'll be surprised to see here who that person may have been. Because
Let's segue, Mike. I love it. Yeah. Go, Zach.
So, the rumor mill began to spin last week that there was a hero in this saga, and his name was, in fact, Tom Holland himself. So I had to suffer through a clip or through an entire interview on Jimmy Kimmel for Douglas.
Oh God! I'm sorry.
Just so I could hear 3 seconds worth of audio from the CEO Bob Iger getting his well, never mind. I'm not gonna. I was gonna make a Jimmy Kimmel joke, but anyway. So Jimmy Kimmel was, apparently we've learned more about the Disney Marvel situation scenario. Some of these things have been kind of trickling out through the ether over the years, but we found out how the relationship between Bob Iger and Ike Perlmutter with his new book, and so apparently Tom Holland reached out to Iger's people to try to get his contact info, email address / phone number, and Bob said, yeah, have him call me, because he's up on the ivory tower, just sitting there counting the money. I mean, this man is. It's like
Iger took time out of having his turds bronzed because he has that much cash on hand.
He was
to meet with Holland. Yeah,
I mean, he was being deified during this interview. I mean, talking about him running for president, which makes me want to hang myself. But anyway, again, I had to suffer through Jimmy Kimmel for you, Douglas. I'm never forgiving you. Anyway. So yes, basically Holland reached out to Bob Iger about getting this deal done, basically right after D23, and the PR disaster that was D23 from the standpoint of having Spider-Man on the posters of D23 the same week that you announced that you are no longer going to be co-producing Spider-Man films, while you're trying to promote the re-release of that said Spider-Man film, you announced that you're not going to do any more Spider-Man films. This was a PR nightmare, and as I said on that previously mentioned podcast or live stream that we did, Disney hates negative press.
Oh, yeah.
And I think Holland reaching out, apparently he also reached out to Rothman.
Yep.
Which I know he has more of a... Because Rothman's far more hands-on than Iger is. Iger's a very laissez-faire CEO. He lets his lieutenants handle everything. And he was letting Alan Horn handle these negotiations. So basically, it sounds like Iger came down from his ivory tower after getting his turds bronzed, and other parts of his body probably bronzed too, down from his ivory tower, decreed to Alan Horn to get this deal done, and basically as a gesture of good faith.
And then Alan Horn was like, okay.
Oh, okay. As a gesture of good faith, I believe that's why we're getting Holland being available for the future Sony movies. Right. But I will say this. Disney has been, Feige has been far more willing to negotiate those things with Sony before. It's been Disney / Marvel, his higher ups, that have 86 that. Perlmutter 86, the Osborn Tower being in the Avengers movie, and Amy Pascal 86, them doing a teaser for Venom and waiting a year until after Infinity War was over, or after Endgame to do the Venom movie, because which was kind of a good thing because it would have been going head to head with Joker, and it would have not made near as much money for Sony.
Yeah,
as because the Joker film is going to make a boatload of cash for a film that nobody has wanted to. All these artsy fartsy comic book nerds are like, "Oh my god, Joker!" and I'm like, I have no desire to see a Joker origin film. None.
Not that one.
Yeah, I'm not running out to see it either.
Not that one.
Mm-hmm.
That has F all to do with the actual Joker.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's like Joaquin Phoenix is like, oh, I'll finally make a comic movie because I like cash.
It continues to cement why I'm done with the DC universe, with the cinematic universe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, outside Aquaman and Shazam, there's nothing of redeeming. Wonder Woman. There's nothing.
Wonder Woman is the only thing that I'll actually watch, dude.
I watched Aquaman and I watched Shazam, and I thought both were fun in their own aspects.
Yep.
Those three things are the like when the holy trinity of DCEU is Aquaman, Shazam, and Wonder Woman. Two of these things is not like the other. Two of these things just doesn't quite belong. But anyway, the fact is that Holland went to the two CEOs of two major media companies and made a plea. And look. Again, I honestly think that Iger had no clue the backlash that was going on online until Holland said something.
What does that say about Iger, really? If he's going to be in charge of Disney, I mean, let's face it, Marvel is their biggest moneymaker. It ain't Star Wars anymore.
Oh, yeah.
So what does that say about Iger, that Iger has his head in the sand for all this?
Well,
no, seriously. So what does that say about Iger?
Iger only cares about the big picture. He does not care about as long as the studios are making money. But I also think that somebody also pulled him aside and said, "Look, you're going to have to fix this Star Wars issue," and that's why Feige is getting involved with the Star Wars universe and working with Kathleen Kennedy because I think
he should be replacing Kathleen Kennedy.
I agree with that. That's a
here there.
So, what do you think of Spider-Man saving the day? Tom Holland essentially.
I think it's cool. I think the aspect of him coming in and speaking on a look, is the hardcore fan happy? We're like what Barryman said. We're damned if we do, damned if we don't. I had a lot of problems with Far From Home, as I articulated previous.
Which is weird because you don't retrospectively have problems with the first one. So you should. If you have those problems with the number two, you ought to have them.
I'll use an Obama quote. My position has evolved on so
is that a different way of saying George was right?
I'm not saying you were. I didn't say you were wrong.
All right. Let's open it up. What do we think of Tom Holland saving the day? JR, what did you say? Do you want to say something?
Well, you know what? Here's the thing. I don't believe any of the press that has come out about any of this. To be honest,
No.
I don't know what to believe. I don't know if any of it's true. And my gut, my aging ulcer-ridden gut tells me that, yeah, probably Tom Holland got involved, but it was more like Sony and Disney saying, you know what, here is our perfect face-saving gesture. I
believe that, yeah.
We both effed this up. I had read something that said Alan Horn completely misunderstood the deal. I mean, how it really worked. But then again, I felt Sony
which makes you think that Alan Horn had F all to do with the original deal. Mm-hmm. It was probably Kevin Feige doing all the work.
What is even the point of Alan Horn then? Seriously,
to make really crappy live-action remakes of all the classic Disney films.
That's true.
George, and the way corporations work, what is the job of some of these people who have these jobs? I mean, not just Alan Horn, but in corporate America is just dysfunctional beyond all belief. And I mean, but I don't think Tom Rothman intended to make a deal. I think they were puffed up by the success of Venom.
I think
that's why I hope in all deference to the late Kevin Cushing, I hope Morbius bombs worse than Walter Pigeon in Forbidden Planet.
Well,
I hope it does. I mean, Sony, for them to think that, we can do this because of what Venom did, when you pick the one villain that could possibly work, and you pick a fairly popular actor to do it, that does not mean you can build a cinematic universe. I have no faith in Sony.
And they've grossly miscalculated the popularity of a Jared Leto. I think after Juggalo Joker.
Grossly miscalculated the popularity of Morbius.
Yeah. So here's what probably happens with Sony when Morbius does bomb. I suspect then they go the Miles Morales route and do a live action Miles Morales.
We're definitely getting a live action Miles Morales at some point.
Yeah.
I think he'll be introduced. He'll be introduced in the look. We've already got a reference to Miles Morales in the MCU with in Homecoming with Donald Glover playing his uncle.
Yeah, but I mean, how old is even? Spider-Man is still what, 16, 17?
Miles.
Yeah,
Miles was 13.
How old is that?
Miles was 13 when he was originally introduced, and then they aged
We're going to be worn out of Holland
only a couple
before
years
he's
older.
in college. We need to switch to a new guy.
No, I don't. I don't feel like we need to.
You get the old man way.
I want to see.
That's the Bernie Sanders.
I want to see. I want to see Spider-Man in college. You know, I mean, after we give the college away for free.
Oh my gosh! All right, I think we move on. All right,
Whoa. Hang on.
go ahead.
I'm with JR in that I think this is all PR.
Yeah,
and I still think that somebody at Sony probably woke the hell up and was like, "Oh no, we're going to make a lot less money." That's my first point. Number two, well, on the one hand, I'm reticent to say Morbius is going to bomb because we were thinking that with Venom, and we were wrong, or some of us were.
We were wrong.
long shot.
Number two, but there's no way Morbius is nowhere near as popular as Venom.
And vampires aren't in the Twilight era of.
Number two, I don't know why Sony would want to go with these dogs like Morbius and Venom and Madam Web when the obvious go-to is Stegra on the Dinosaur Man.
Okay, nice segue. Peter, you've got this next topic. The movie, if you think Morbius is going to bomb, wait till you see this film. Madam Web. Take me through here, Peter.
Why? Well, first of all, the person to play Madam Web has passed away, and it was Joan Lee. Joan Lee should have played Madam Web.
She did play him in the 90s.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I every episode of Clone Saga Chronicles starts with Joan Lee. That's my tribute to her.
So, let me see if I understand this right. So now that Tom Holland has cried over to Disney and he's back in the MCU, is he going to be part of this Sony Spider-Verse that's going
Possibly.
on?
Possibly.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's signed for a 27 deal pictures.
I said poor Holland earlier, but let's be honest, Holland making that money. Dollar bills. That's
hey, speaking of, there's the 90s show screen caps of Joan Lee playing voicing.
So take me through it, Peter. Tell me what they're saying.
Sony Pictures is reportedly had tapped the director of Morbius to create a Madam Web.
No, the writers of the Morbius, the failed Morbius movie that we.
There's a picture of Jared Leto as Morbius right there.
Yeah, so they're going to try to expand this Spider-Verse universe, and Madam Web will probably
Ooh.
I'm guessing he's going to be like a lead-in to it, a lead-in to a connection between the MCU and the Sony and whatever cluster garbage that they're going to produce. But I don't know, guys. I mean,
to me, this just proves that Spider-Man as a property honestly would work better as a big budget prestige series, because I feel that you could do these as episodes of a long-term story. You could introduce them as background characters, but they cannot lead a film.
No.
The problem with the Venom movie, fundamentally speaking, was the lack of Spider-Man.
Sorry. I was just going to say, there is the new modern cartoon version of Madam Web.
Yes.
It's Jessica, what's her name from Avengers? Jessica.
No, it's not
Jessica Carpenter.
Julia
Carpenter. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So is that what they're going with?
I think that's what they're. I think if they're going to use the original Madam Web, they're going to probably make her younger because they figured, we can't have an old person
like that.
Because for whatever reason,
there's no way they're doing a geriatric Madam Web. There's absolutely no way.
Because because the way Hollywood works,
the hot effable version of Madam Web is
the way Hollywood works is they consider if you're an older man, you can get away with it like Clint Eastwood or something, but not if you're an older woman or something.
Can you see Helen Mirren right here?
They're not going to have Helen Mirren be. Dude, they're going to go.
There's not a snowball's chance.
Look what they did with like Aunt May, dude. They're going to go with like a young hot chick.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
Basically play the same character.
You know they are. They're gonna try to do like some. They're gonna try to make because they
in
don't
a
want
perfect world. Yes,
and the American movie going public is like Madam Web. What?
Yeah, they're gonna go wait.
Because they don't know who the hell Madam Web is.
No.
Right.
Or Morbius for that matter.
And they're going to try to do like some kind of thing. They'll try to. I mean, I can just picture what they'll try to do. They'll try to make it some kind of like almost like a whatever that one movie that came out with Keanu Reeves and was about
Constantine.
No. It was called
Keanu Reeves, Constantine. I did.
Oh no.
I
did too. I saw it at the theater. I liked it.
Tilda Swinton in it. Tilda Swinton was awesome. I'm sorry.
No,
I did.
it was
I
the one. It was the one where they had where I forgot who the person was who was playing the psychic, and he was supposed to be the psycho killer that they were doing the thing. They'll try to do something along those lines, I'm sure, because they're going into the Madam Web's backstory about her being kidnapped and all this other stuff. They'll try to make it as some kind of an origin film, how she had of some kind or something.
I mean,
it's gonna.
They will.
It's gonna look. If that makes $150 million worldwide at the box office, the inherent again.
Well, now hang on. It's going to be in China too, and those people will see goddamn anything.
Yeah.
If it's
China will go to watch anything.
But the reason why is because the Chinese government limits the amount of American movies that they're allowed to see, and they love America.
Them to go see it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they'll lose when they pull up their app that determines their social status that they have developed over in China, and they don't go see this movie. They will lose out and they'll be shunned.
They're going to lose social currency.
Yeah, the social currency will be lost.
Ugh,
that's funny.
Well, hey, we all thought we
Sounds like
didn't
an episode of Black
imagine
Mirror.
Well, we couldn't imagine a Joker origin movie, and look where we are now.
That's not a Joker origin movie. That's something else entirely that calls itself Joker. Let's be honest about what that is.
It'll be the same thing they'll try to do here. They'll try to do it's not your ordinary comic book movie. It'll be like.
But that's about as much Joker as the Man Thing was about Man Thing.
Yeah, right.
The fact is that Warner Brothers is the classic case of fundamentally misunderstanding the public's desire to have good detective comics films. And they've misunderstood comic books from almost the beginning. With outside of George Donner and Burton, those are the only two that got it.
Mm-hmm.
This is why I was saying that if Warner Brothers had been smart, they would have put Patty Jenkins in charge of the DC.
That'd be good.
They would have. They would have just made her the Kevin Feige and say, "Here, fix all of our things."
So, do you think
and Nolan halfway understood?
Do you think they're setting up a Madam Web film so they can introduce the Spider-Verse?
Yes.
So they can pull in
that is the post-credits
and Miles and 2099 and then build.
Oh,
that is 100. Put money down now. Odds 100 to 1 odds. That is your post-credit scene.
So that's a long-term...
At the end of the film.
Yeah. I would... Now, here's the thing. Here's a caveat, okay? As much as Sony sucks, I would see, or I would be interested, on the face, I would be interested in a standalone 2099 movie.
Yeah.
But I don't want any crap with that. But here's the thing. Do I trust Sony to make that correctly? No. Hell no. Mm-hmm. But when you tell me, oh, yeah, there may be a Spider-Man 2099 film, interested. But once I see the first trailer, or once the first news and the first pictures from the set start leaking out, suddenly not interested.
Another part of this deal is Sony can make animated features longer than 44 minutes. This is what allegedly is in the contract. And
is that how long Spider-Verse was?
Yeah, well, it was an hour and a half movie.
Yeah, it was an hour and a half movie. Yeah.
Okay.
And they can also make live-action TV shows. Is that what I read?
Yeah, there was a Phil Lord and
it's a Matty Franklin TV show coming to.
Was going to do that kind of thing. That was going to do some kind of a TV series.
Again, when these ultimately fail, the only thing that'll be keeping Sony afloat,
Venom and Spidey,
is Venom and Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Yeah.
And the fact is that when people eventually get tired of Venom. Mm-hmm. Because what else are you going to do after Carnage? You're going to blow Carnage. I was going to use a phrase that I've used before.
You're going to do Carnage, then you use Spider-Man versus Venom. That's what I do.
That's your trilogy, and then you're done. You're bankrupt at that point.
Danny D in YouTube chat says he's looking forward to Woody Harrelson wearing that Ronald McDonald wig again. It was a bad wig. They fixed that.
That was so bad. I mean, it was comics accurate, but it was so over the top.
Adam says they're going to make a Silver Sable Black Cat Madam Web Silk movie called Spider Chicks.
Speaking of Sony possibly doing a TV series, if Sony was smart, if Sony was real smart, and they're not, it's Sony. Again, as we've established, they're the pack lids of the cinema universe. If they were real smart, they would give us a Spider Girl TV series.
Oh,
do I trust them to do it correctly? No. Which is that something that they should look at and try to do the right way? Absolutely. Will they? No.
What happened to Zach? He died.
He faded at the mere possibility of that happening.
I almost wonder. I mean, I guess in a way, I almost wonder if Sony's days have to be numbered. They don't have a.
How long have we been saying that, though, JR?
Well, the thing is,
Years.
it's like anything else. We have been saying that for years, but you can sort of see the vice begin to squeeze a little bit. I mean, they don't have, other than the movies. I mean, what delivery do they have? That they're not going to have any streaming.
Video games.
Video games, man. That's where they make their money.
That's where their real money is.
That's different, though. That Sony Entertainment is.
Yeah, they don't need the. Movie, they don't need the movie studio for that. The movie studio is
part of the deal is that Apple is interested in Sony, and if that happens, the rights come back to Marvel. If anybody buys the Sony company, rights revert.
Apple would be smart to do that because Apple is kind of strapped for cash. Yeah, they haven't been doing well. They've been underperforming. I'll put it that way.
Well, okay, but
the public is.
Amazon could probably take them.
The public is not as hot to buy several $100 iPhones as they used to be.
Yeah.
Well, I think the problem with Apple right now is that the cell phones in general are almost
there's one problem.
But one of the problems with Apple is that the cell phone market is so super saturated that it's difficult and they're not as popular in China, which is because there's actual legit competition in China.
What is the big competition in China? Is it the Samsung?
Not really Samsung, but it's Huawei. They're now banned in the U.S. You can't buy them.
Because I'll tell you,
because of the spyware.
I got a Samsung phone.
Yeah, I got one too.
But Samsung, the problem, the fact is that they've got some homegrown products in China that are actually a little cheaper. And they've got almost equal in terms of spec. Look, Samsung in the smartphone world, there's really three. The one I just mentioned, the Chinese version, the Chinese maker, Samsung and Apple. That's it.
We're rapidly losing Brad.
So
yeah. All right, let's move on.
Which speaking of which,
I can see the look on his face. I'm like Brad. It's like the Homer Simpson, with the monkey and the organ grinder inside his head.
The point is them being interested in a movie studio is them diversifying their product. That's the only reason.
Speaking of moving on, I'm going to have to cut out and catch up all the amusing news stories.
We're about to take a turn.
All right, see you, gentlemen.
See you, Mike.
See you, man. All right.
Spider-Girl.
Our next topic is Halloween related, and George has this one. The 7 most popular costumes for Halloween.
Hang on, I've got to get back to where I can pull up the link. Hang on.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead.
Spider-Man again tops the most popular Halloween costumes. I'm showing. Wait a minute. There it is. Okay. There's several variations of Spider-Man that you can dress as this year. And Spider-Girl right there, adorable. I think that's really cute.
Okay, no.
You don't like that one with the ruby slippers?
All right. That is not Spider-Girl.
Okay. Anyway, I agree.
We've had this discussion before, Douglas.
Pullover mask, we could do that one. You can have a cape. That's cute.
No, that's not what. That's not Spider-Man.
Not meant for you. It's meant for the kids.
That's Spider-Man.
You could be Spider-Gwen this year. So anyway, George, take me through it. Take me through it.
Okay, so when breaking the rundown down for us, Brad, before every podcast episode, there's a glimpse of what goes on behind the scenes. Before every podcast episode, we get a rundown of who's going to cover what. Brad kind of gives us homework and assigns us things, right? So if you're really unfortunate, you get like JR or me, you get Spider Crime. But no, Brad posted this as, and I'll quote this: Spider-Man tops most popular Halloween costumes. All right. Now, it links to a couple of things or a few things like where you can actually look at Spider-Man costumes. Only one of them is an actual news site. And the news site specifically says, according to Pinterest, the top Halloween costume searches by those identifying as female were, and Spider-Man's not even in the top.
Oh, he's not? Okay.
Douglas is drunk. Translation.
And that's according to females. And then it later goes on to say, according to Pinterest, the top costume searches by those identifying as male were
all right, hold on.
Superhero, Viking, Spider-Man being third, Joker, and Jedi.
All right, George, here is why I did that. Hold on.
So this is what I was saying at the top of the last episode. Hold on. Brad not even reading the thing that he gives us to do.
Will explain. I put that link because this one gives you a pop-up, and I'm like, George can't read that. He can't read that.
You didn't link me to USA Today.
I couldn't because you wouldn't read it. Then I went to CNN, and they have it too.
USA Today.
And then CNN wants you to buy a subscription.
No, I wouldn't look at CNN. I wouldn't look at CNN. But if it was USA Today, I would look at it.
I feel like we're on CNN right now.
I want you to get a subscription.
Where are they getting this data from? Who are they getting it from? Are they getting it from costume retailers? Who are they getting it from?
Oh, it's George will be blocked. I got to buy an $80 subscription for George. So I went to this one way that I was like Halloween on USA.
I feel like we're on CNN right now, and we got the left and the right arguing.
Oh, so here's the news. Spider-Man. Here's the news. Spider-Man is one of the top searched things on Pinterest for Halloween.
These damn links that I couldn't do. Just read the damn article. Oh, God damn it.
You done effed up now, son.
Anyway, Spider-Man is one of the most popular Halloween costumes. Go.
According to Pinterest. not according.
We're back
and USA Today. Good God!
Show me the. Okay, show it up again. Show me.
I can't because you have a blocker, and I was trying to be nice to you to give you a link because I knew you wouldn't be able to see it. I got
none of the links you sent me said that. It said according to Pinterest.
Oh, right, fine.
Okay.
Fine.
All right. So since we're talking about
Spider-Man, the USA Today article we can't read because of ad blocker. Apparently, Spider-Man's the most popular. We can't actually go into to where they're getting this information from.
Hey, by the way, speaking of Spider-Man costumes,
can you just do the segment?
Speaking of Spider-Man costumes,
whoa, Brad, I can't do the segment correctly because I can't.
I'll do the segment. God
I can't report this as accurate because I can't talk about where they're getting the.
All right, well, let's pivot from this news story. Let's ask the expert on Spider-Man costumes.
Back away from the microphone.
Okay. Right. Let's ask the expert on Spider-Man costumes. We have a guy that cosplays as Spider-Man. What was your opinion on the Halloween costumes?
I'm trying to go ad-free on this damn thing so George can see this shit. All right. These cute Halloween pets are... God damn it, that's not even on USA Today. Where the hell is the spider... Okay, here we go. Look at the damn cat. Look at the damn cat.
Dog. Or cat taco. Pumpkin taco or the popular...
Superhero.
Pet search.
Bumblebee. Where's the damn article? I got to go on ad-free just so George is happy. God damn.
Forbid I want to be... God forbid. I want to make sure that the news
this is what I want you to see.
Accurate.
Elsa and Spider-Man. These are the most popular kids' costumes.
Scroll down and let's find out what
he is number 3.
Scroll up and find out what they're basing it on. First of all, he's number 3. All right, actually read. Let's see what USA Today.
Raise your hand if you teach kids.
Let's read. Focus.
The National Retail Federation released data. There's our source.
There's your story.
Okay.
That's the story right there.
Okay.
That's the story.
And I was trying to be nice to you, so you didn't do the pop-up. The National Retail Association.
Because I'm like, based on who? Pinterest? That means nothing.
I can't wait for the iTunes review on this one.
I don't think George and I have ever argued this much on the show.
Here's the thing. You throw this stuff at us, and I'm like,
I'm about to
I don't want
throw
to
it up
give.
at you.
I don't want to give people incorrect information. I'm not going to report this as factual when I can't see where they're getting the information from.
And for the record,
I have journalistic ethics, Brad. I'm even a journalist. I have journalistic ethics.
And I'll say this, Brad. Every time you bring up Spider-Man costumes, there's always some sort of debate amongst us in terms of remember the pink Spider-Man costume, little nugget that we did about 5 or 6 years ago that you and Kevin were going after. Maybe we should stop talking about Spider-Man costumes on Halloween episodes, Douglas. I mean, at the end of the day, there's only one person that knows a damn thing about the Spider-Man costumes, and it is in fact the man who is from Chicago on this particular podcast.
I got pop-ups all over my
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
it's him and JR. I mean, come on, it's him and JR.
JR knows. You want to talk about Goblin masks? You go to JR. You want to talk about Spider-Man costumes? You go to Chi-Town.
Yeah, I'm not giving George a Halloween costume shopping. Do another 10 years.
Hang on. If you do, throw me something that actually has substance that I can actually go to and say, okay, well, here's a story according to this source. Pinterest is not a source. Brad's gonna slap me. Brad's gonna yell at me later.
We're having a master class on journalistic ethics all of a sudden.
Not what I wanted to go at all.
Where we're getting this information is from.
Not at all where I wanted to go with it. I wanted to talk about, hey, there's a lot of cool costumes out there if you want to be Spider-Man. No, we spent 20 minutes. Brad's an asshole. All right.
No.
Okay, so let's take a look at all the costumes.
No one said that.
All right.
No one said that. No one said that.
So there's a lot of costumes out there for Spider-Man this year. Let's take a look at them. You could be Miles this year.
Whoa. Stop. Look at that.
Yeah, I know which one you're going to look at. I'll blow it up.
Oh, yeah, that's yeah, blow
Is that worth $160 to you, George?
If I had it. Potentially, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it won't stay on for very long, but.
Oh Lord! All right, we're moving on. This was doomed from the damn beginning. All I wanted to do was show also the link that George went over. Let me find the damn thing from the Huff. Oh, you're not going to like the Huffington Post either. Okay,
I clicked on it hoping that there was some legitimate source that I could point to. This is where they're getting the information from. But no, they said here's the top searches for dudes.
Okay, I wanted to show you what state is the most popular down in Texas. What is it? Open a new tab. Hold on. Can I blow this up? Okay.
God almighty, damn. Again, Pinterest is the.
Okay, so the most popular. This sums it up. The top Halloween costume in Texas this year is circus clowns. It looks like circus. Up in Missouri, we got witches. Stranger Things over in Kansas.
You're not being very magical right now, Douglas.
You got to go up to Iowa to get superheroes.
You have to be careful about dressing up as a clown here in Texas because.
I know.
No, it's just the state looks at them like a nuisance animal, like coyotes. You don't even need a permit to shoot them. You can just shoot them around.
Look at California, the Powerpuff Girls. What? The Powerpuff Girls are hot. Poison Ivy down the south.
There's probably sexy Powerpuff Girls, and I just get really uncomfortable when I see
the unfortunate soundbite drop from that is Brad saying the Powerpuff Girls are hot.
Yeah. Highly unfortunate. Pedophiles love that all over.
I was about to say, speaking of Spider-Man costumes and Powerpuff Girl costumes, this is about 20 years old.
Wow.
You can tell that's the Earth X Spider-Man.
I was about to make that joke.
The Earth X Spider-Man. I made it first.
Isn't that the cutest
a little Powerpuff Girl. So, but
that's very cute.
How old is your daughter now? Almost 30?
25.
Awesome.
Wow.
25.
You have a 25-year. Your kid is a quarter century old.
I haven't been looking at the YouTube chat.
He's a 25-year-old law enforcement officer.
Brad slaps George, he'll just break his hands. Oh my God! Here's the
thing. Just okay, Jomo. Going forward, if you give me a thing to cover, I'm gonna want to look. I'm actually gonna read the thing, and I'm gonna find what they're using as a source for their information.
Okay.
Brad's gonna hit me. Brad's gonna punch me.
All right. The next topic, which I thought hopefully goes a lot better than this. Damn,
I think the entertainment value of this one was quite high.
not on my end.
No.
Where the hell is my link? Oh,
What a friend we have in
where's
Jesus.
the States one? I got to pull up the Big Mac McDonald's robber.
Oh, this is gonna go over like a wet fart.
And
in
here,
church.
just a heads up. Let's not spend the whole time saying I hate this topic. Let's just talk about it.
I hate the topic. I'm just
All right.
to Pinterest.
Okay, add the stream. Here we go. Who's got this? I think it's JR.
Oh God Almighty! Damn.
All right, you ready, JR?
Yeah,
Tell
first
me about the Big Mac thief.
hang on a second. Let's watch this happen now. Now watch this, everybody. Look at this. Look at this.
I'm watching.
Watch it. All right. Look at it.
Got him! Got him! Hold on.
All right.
We have to loop. Hold on.
Whoa! Wait a
Here we
second. Wait a second. That is the nicest McDonald's I think I've ever seen in my life. Where the hell is this McDonald's at?
Well, anyway. Okay, so watch this again.
Spider-Man's a menace.
Well, the audio listeners,
Hang
tell
on.
the audio listeners what's happening.
Okay, what's happening is someone's pulling through a drive-up. You can see they're reaching for their Happy Meal or whatever, and then Spider-Man. And there you have
Yeah, there you go, JR.
He's a menace.
He grabs the burger.
meal from a family who will no doubt go hungry tonight. Their children's bellies crying out in pain as they are denied basic nourishment by the greatest of sociopathic menaces ever to stalk this planet. But that's not all, folks. Here is the real blockbuster. Brace yourselves. You might want to sit down. Spider-Man is a racist. Look at those signs in the background.
He's in a black uniform.
They're in Spanish. Spider-Man, coward that he is, has decided to attack members of a marginalized community who are already suffering from oppression and other indignities by the main society. And there you have it, folks.
And that man is also follically challenged.
Okay, so my question to JR, if you're going through the drive-thru and Spider-Man grabs your burger, what do you do?
Get another burger in the drive.
Go ahead, JR. If you get burger jacked, what happens?
Well, apparently this guy got out of his car just to go chase him.
Well,
Here's my question. Why was
No,
the
let
person...
JR answer it. Go ahead, JR.
I mean, it's like you sit there and you go, Spider-Man stole my cheeseburger.
You sit there and you watch him run off, and you think Jay, and you go, you look at your wife and you say, J. Jonah Jameson was right. He's a menace.
Okay, Zach, go ahead.
Here is my inherent question about this entire exchange. Why the hell was the guy filming a group of people going through a drive-thru? What universe?
He's in on it with Spider-Man, obviously.
So Spider-Man can't even like this version of Spider-Man can't even use a camera webbed up to do his own exploits. No, he has to hire somebody to film him. That is a disgrace to the character. I'm telling you right now, what this Spider-Man did is incomprehensible.
Okay, go ahead.
While you're working on the playback speed, I'm just doing.
I got to watch this Spider-Man slow, so maybe we can identify him. Okay, here we go. Let's see.
First of all, he's wearing the wrong costume.
Okay, so George, you frequent McDonald's. What would happen if this guy stole your burger?
Well, I'm Texan. We frequent Whataburger. If you're in Texas and you steal somebody's Whataburger, I don't care if Spider-Man costume or not, you're most likely going to get shot.
Shot in the leg. And
then the cops will roll up and be like, okay, so let me get this straight. Spider-Man stole your burger and you shot him. And you'd be like, yes, officer. And they'd be like, all right, you're good to go. You understand.
Is this guy smiling?
Did you get your Whataburger back? This is the question.
Now, if you're in Texas, that goes for Whataburger, goes for Chick-fil-A.
Because that's God's chicken.
Yeah, but if this happens at like a Taco Bell, they're gonna be like, you know what, use of lethal force was not.
Adam says he has to bring the burger
excessive.
back to the guy in the chair, Ned. Oh my goodness.
Oh.
But yeah, if somebody grabs your Whataburger in Texas, Spider-Man or no, you're gonna get.
All hail the Wada.
You're gonna get the hammer down.
Yep. Has anybody been any funny drive-through moments? Anybody paid for your meal in the drive-thru? Go. Let me hear it, George.
I have a. This will redeem me for my earlier segment, and this is a McDonald's story. So when I was in college, all right. Of course, we know we're young and stupid, as you are in college. I was going through the drive-thru. I skipped school that day, which explains a lot. And I'm going through the drive-thru, and I noticed on the drive-thru it said, on the drive-thru, Braille menus available. All right. Braille menus available in the drive-thru. So I went and I talked about it with my friends the next day. And we said, okay, you know what? We're going to go to McDonald's. And I'm like, I'm going to drive and I'm going to have like sunglasses on and pretend that I am blind. And we're going to go through the drive-thru and we're going to request a Braille menu in the drive-thru. All right. And so one of my friends was filming it from the back seat. All right. So we do that. We go to the drive-thru. I'm like, yes, I would like a Braille menu. And they're like, please pull forward. So I pull forward, presumably a blind man that needs a Braille menu.
I was going to say, how's a blind man driving?
And then so I got my sunglasses on and I'm reaching out, like this. Sure enough, they gave me a Braille menu, and I open it up and I'm like, and I got sunglasses on and I'm like, and then I'm like, okay, and I already knew ahead of time because I go to Whataburger or McDonald's all the time back then, and I was like, okay, yeah, I want like a number 4 or whatever the hell ever, supersized with such and such, like Dr. Pepper. Hand the menu back, like I'm blind, and then reach into my wallet and say, I know this is 10, it's all I have. There's a $10 bill, So she takes it, gives me my change, gives me my food, and says, please come back.
Oh my gosh.
And I drive away, again, a blind man driving away from the drive-thru after having used the Braille menu in the drive-thru.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, I mean, did you see that movie, Al Pacino movie, Smell of a Woman?
No,
I mean, he's blind and he drives.
Smell of a woman.
I mean, he drives blind.
Porn parody.
All right, Zach, your burger is jacked in the drive-thru. What do you do?
I'm from Texas. We shoot the son of a bitch.
All right.
I just
You just said that. Peter, does this happen in Chicago? People stealing burgers?
No, they shoot each other over their burgers.
Let's go.
I got another story, but it's not in the drive-thru, Brad.
All right, go ahead.
But Neil is in chat and he'll enjoy this, and so will Zach. So about a year later, I wanted a Whataburger with my friends. Went inside the Whataburger, and back then they had Whataburger on the menu. It said bacon on any product, 89 cents. Right, bacon on any product. So I got up to there and I said I would. And there's a line behind us, right? Like it's like lunchtime, and I said I would like a strawberry shake with bacon.
Ooh.
And the dude was like, "We don't really do that." And I'm like, and I'm starting to say it loud now. Like, like I'm talking to the whole room. Are you denying me my bacon on any product for 89 cents? Is that what I'm hearing right now? Are you tell?
I can totally see you doing that. That's funny.
And there was a dude in the line who was like, give him his goddamn bacon. There was a dude who was like, he was like, brother, preach. The guy understood exactly where I was coming from. Give him his goddamn bacon. So I'm
That's false advertisement right there.
I'm like, a strawberry shake with bacon in it. And he was like, okay. And he's like, do you want me to chop that up or just put the whole slice in there? I'm like, yeah, I want you to chop it up. I want you to act like you give a damn. Yeah. So we chopped it up and he put it in the shake. Sure enough, mixed it in and everything. And then I ate it with a spoon. And this is how in the 90s, I learned very early. I remember like the bacon craze like several years ago. It was like, bacon maple sundae and bacon, bacon shakes and all this. I knew ahead of time that was actually a tasty thing because the greasy saltiness of the bacon brings out the sweetness of whatever it's in.
Yep.
And it adds it also adds a texture. It actually is surprisingly good. So that was another story. There you go.
There's nothing more American than bacon inside of a shake.
Peter, you get burger jacked. What happens?
I would blink. I'm like, did I just do that? No, but I did have a funny drive-in.
What happened?
I went to McDonald's to get some food. I was a field tech and working late, and the guy was being really not doing his job because there was a couple of girls on the other side, just talking, and he was just kind of like talking to them like, oh yeah, here's your food. I'm like, here's my money, take my money so I can get my food. So after that went by, I pulled in the parking lot and realized I still had my costume with me. So I literally pulled a Hong Kong Phooey out of my trunk and went to these girls, and they're like, oh, Spider-Man, Spider-Man, Spider-Man. And I got them to move away from the guy at the drive-thru so he could do his goddamn job.
Oh, that's funny. Spider-Man saved the day again.
Yes. But I don't
like
the burgers.
Next topic is aimed at JR. Let's take a look at the Spider-Man Power Washer. Go ahead, JR. Take me through it.
Well, I think the what's more interesting about this than anything else is that it was Instagram user Skinny George. He looked out the window.
That's my new internet moniker now that I've lost 25 pounds.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Said he looked out the window to check out the weather and saw Spider-Man on the roof of the Calvary Friendship Church next door. So,
what a friend we have in Jesus.
So, what else? Obviously, he's not tethered to anything, which is a
clear OSHA violation.
The observation that the people who are driving by are making.
Wow.
All I can say is that Spider-Man must have done something wrong, and he's trying to save his immortal soul or something.
He must have sold his marriage out to save his immortal soul.
But what actually is more interesting about this article is the more news headlines, because see, this took place in Florida. Spider-Man was seen pressure cleaning the Florida roof. What was more interesting was the other news headlines. Florida man steals pool floats for sex instead of raping women. Police say.
Wait a minute. I gotta go. Where?
Hang on. We gotta look up Florida man Spider-Man.
Florida man brings in. Oops.
Go ahead. I don't have that link, but go ahead.
Yeah, you do. Scroll up just a little bit.
Okay.
A little bit. No.
I'm up as far as I can go.
Well, then go down. I mean, to me, it's
there it is.
More news headlines. There you go. Yep, there we go.
Oh, JR, we're not. To the power washing.
What does this have to do with Spider-Man?
Here's the next one.
No.
And then Florida man brings 4-year-old girl with him to commit burglaries.
What in the world?
And then Florida man, my favorite, Florida man tells deputies cocaine on his nose is not his.
Oh my God!
That's a legitimate thing. It's like, no, this is my buddy's coke. I mean,
and
oh my gosh.
that is very similar to stories that my daughter hears.
Man.
All right, here we go. March 15, 2019. Florida man discussed. Oh, we already did this. Damn it, we already did that topic. Never mind.
So back before we talked about the rapists and stuff. How hard would it be to stand on that roof and do that untethered? I mean, that's just insane.
Yeah, I've done it before.
You've done.
Well, hang on. I mean, it's Spider-Man. I mean, his feet are going to stick to whatever he's walking on.
Yeah. Haven't you ever cleaned your gutters, Brad, before?
I do not get up on the roof. I can put the ladder on the side of the house, but that's about it.
You don't get up there and clean out your gutters. Gee whiz, I mean, you got to do that. You got to do that, man. You got to, clean your gutters out, or you're going to wreck your foundation or whatever.
Gutter guards, so I don't have to do that.
Wreck your foundation sounds like what happens after you have like really, really bad.
So, Hershey says this was part of the deal with Mephisto. He had to power wash ceilings or roofs. Hershey also says this is closer to Spider-Man than Far From Home was. So how did he get the power washer up there?
Here's the thing. Why do you need to power wash anything in Florida? A hurricane will come and take the roof off anyway, and you've got a new roof. Why the hell do you got it? Why the hell do you got to wash a roof in Florida?
That is true.
Well,
you shine the bricks, I guess, on the roof. Alas.
JR's not wrong.
Well, there you go. Okay.
I tell my wife that every day, but she don't believe me.
Okay, let me find the tab that had the Power Wash Spider-Man.
That's right.
There we go.
Hey, Jonah Joyner.
George, let's hope this one goes better than the last one.
Well, this goes to an actual local news page.
Oh, God. Okay, hold on a second.
You opened yourself up for that one.
You done set yourself up there, Brad.
What is wrong with Zach? Okay.
So many answers to that question.
Hey.
Is weed legal in Texas? Could that be it?
No.
I can't get the tab to work. Hold on.
Who said I didn't smuggle some in from Colorado? Now, say.
Boy, I was about to say that sounds like a drunk Billy Crystal doing Edward G. Robinson.
Colorado's not that far from Zach.
George, how far is El Paso from you? How far away we gotta go?
10.5 hours.
From Dallas, yeah, it's about. I'll put it this way: I've driven to California several times, and when I leave Dallas and get to El Paso, I'm over halfway there to California.
So tell me about this El Paso Spider-Man criminal. Tell me about it.
All right, so it's not just one criminal; it's actually 3 criminals. It's a gang. There's a team. presumably bad Spider-Man, or as we will call him, Tubby Spider-Man.
Spider-Man
yeah, exactly. Arachnid Fats. That's what we'll call him.
I like it, Shay. I like it there.
But presumably, I broke Brad. Does that make up for? Oh my God, where's my source on this? Arachnid Fats.
That's some great stuff there. Barry. When I say, I do say.
Is that even a Spider-Man mask?
That looks like a Nacho Libre version of Spider-Man.
It's like a really bad, like homemade.
God,
like Spider-Man mask.
Okay.
It's like how Spider-Man would have looked if Fox had made the movies.
So there was three of these people. Tubby, or pardon me, Arachnid Fats is like presumably like the lead man on this. Watch him try to kick the door down. Yeah. I'm like, dude, you are way too out of shape for this kind of action. You're going to have a heart attack. You're going to pull a Bernie Sanders right there on this front porch.
Hershey says Spider-Man far from healthy.
That's right, kids. He's far. He is far from healthy. He's going to have a heart attack.
No. It gets better.
Okay, go ahead.
Right?
He needs some socialized medicine.
It gets better. So Arachnid Fats fails to kick the door open. Watch him do it. Look at him. He's so thick. Look at him, right? And so when that fails, he walks away with dudes in hoodies. What have I always said about hoodies?
You hate hoodies, yeah.
So Arachnid
They give hoodies a bad name here.
Spider-Man Home Invasion is what this is.
So Arachnid Fats tried to break down the door, couldn't do it, and then winds up climbing up to the second story. It's like the second story balcony and breaking the glass door open to gain entry into the apartment. So not only did we got heavy breathing.
Yeah,
Peter. That would be
so not only does Arachnid Fats fail to break into the door, he scales to the second story.
I don't have a video of that. I wish I did.
Like some kind of husky jaguar, big bone jaguar. Shatters the back window and gains entry, and they stole they stole like a Nintendo Switch and some cash.
Look at all that for folks, all that for menaces and hoodies and for the Nintendo Switch.
And I'm thinking, I hope that the cash is enough to cover Arachnid Fats' trip to the hospital because he's so out of shape and he's doing all these things. And I'm like, dude, you're gonna have chest pains later.
He's gonna need some socialized medicine when he's all said and done.
Best case scenario, it's angina. Worst case scenario, you're gonna need a couple of stents.
You remember the Spider-Man exercises though that we talked about a year or so ago? Maybe we should try some of those. The Spider-Man. I successfully did some of them.
Maybe this criminal should take a break from eating icing out of the tub.
And hit the gym every once in a while.
Long enough to hit the keto diet.
Yeah,
and come back, and give it a second, go. You wonder if he could have maybe gotten more out of the apartment, because by the time he's climbed the second story and has broken through the glass to steal a Nintendo Switch and some cash, I'm guessing he probably sounded like he'd been jumping rope in the attic in the middle of summer.
Neil says Arachnid Fats climbs a building but can't kick down a door. Seems legit.
Yeah.
Dan Slott's cosplay is game as strong as his writing, apparently.
Oh, that's so mean.
Is Zach trying to find his Groucho Marx with a cigar?
All right, which one of you people out there dislike our video? All right, we've already got a dislike now. Which segment did it?
It's Brad. Brad did it after I was like, I was like, where's the beef? And I was like, where's the source?
It was me. I disliked our own video.
Did you really?
No, I didn't. Of course I didn't.
Douglas.
Is that a middle-aged Spider-Man trying to make a quick buck since Super Herring doesn't give you a pension? Adam says it's Slot trying to break into Spencer's place. Self-hating Brad. Anyway, George, you got 3 guys trying to break into your pad, one with a gun and a Spider-Man mask. What do you do?
I mean, if it's Texas...
He gets shot, and the body gets drugged back in.
There seems to be a theme with the hamburgers and the burglars.
Here's the theme.
Hamburglars?
Texas is not the place to do this kind of thing.
It's another Texas, yeah.
And in fact, I was reading something. I think it was early last week. And they were talking about the number of criminals that tell cops that they don't want to burglarize a place when they know someone's home, that they don't want to do a takeover robbery or a strong arm robbery because they're scared people have guns because it's Texas.
Yeah,
it's a true story.
Yeah,
that my friends, that's America.
All right, that's a wrap. Any other thoughts on that? The El Paso Spider-Man.
Arachnid Fats.
First of all, Arachnid Fats probably bought his mask from across the border at a knockoff store.
Now, here's what'll happen, Brad.
Yeah.
Because we've called them Arachnid Fats. The burglar will then try to sue us.
Oh, no.
At which point we'll know his name, and then we can report him to the El Paso Police and see if there's a reward. Maybe.
Oh, so there's a happy ending with this.
And then we could put the reward money in Patreon.
see how much whatever the El Paso equivalent of J. Jonah Jameson will give us.
There you go.
Stopping a menace.
All right, so
Jorge Jameson.
George, what time is it? What time is it?
It is time once again for Ditko News.
It's time for Ditko News.
It's about time, folks.
So, evidently, there's going to be a new Steve Ditko play.
Because you demanded it.
Because you demanded. The Daydream Theater and Theater Lab in New York City will present Ditko, a play written and directed by Lenny Schwartz. October 1st and 2nd. Damn it, we missed it. $15. It tells the story of Ditko.
This news is timely.
Oh, well, not as timely as the...
3 days ago, there was a Ditko play.
Did no one get that? Well, this news is timely. Not
as timely as the cheeseburger thing.
I understood that reference, George.
Okay. So there's a theme. There's a play that's going to tell the story of Steve Ditko's life. And there are some pictures.
He spent most of his life hunched over a artboard. The end.
And there are some pictures. There are actors going to be playing Stan Lee. This is the actor playing Ditko.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Because he's Ditko, and he's like,
Okay, so that's Ditko. We'll take a picture. This is Stan Lee and Steve Ditko.
Almighty.
Wow.
All right, first of all, that's like the fattest Stan Lee they could find. It's Fatso Lee.
Okay, so that's Stan Lee.
But hey, that mustache is impressive.
This is Jack Kirby.
Okay, that actually looks like Kirby, though.
Looks like Kirby.
That's a good casting.
See, that's the thing. Stan Lee at that time was actually.
Yeah.
I take that back. Not actually. He always was thin. He's always a thin guy.
He's always been a thin guy.
Yeah, he's always been a thin guy.
Okay.
It's like
Hershey
if
says.
Stan Lee ate
The
himself.
eyebrows on the Kirby guy. They nailed that. Look at
All right. So, wait for it. This is Ayn Rand.
It's like Kevin.
Well, that guy nailed that.
This is Ayn Rand.
Is Aaron Rand like his spirit animal?
Did Ditko actually meet Ayn Rand?
Ayn Rand is in the film or in the play. Yes. There's Ayn Rand again.
She's a spirit animal. Oh my God!
It's like a bad cologne commercial from like the 90s. What is this?
Okay. And that's it. Stop. No more is what Steve Ditko says. If you look at this, George insulted me that the play's over. According to Newsarama, it's not. November 8, 9, 10, 14, 15, 16, and 17. I think they've been extended.
Well, there you go. Yeah, you've got a whole month to buy tickets.
You can go to smarttix.com if you're in New York City. You can go see.
Jeff White, you're probably a fine actor, but you are no Stan Lee, Jeff White.
You have to be in Woonsocket.
And what?
Woonsocket.
What's a wound-socket?
That's where the play actually is. Woonsocket, Rhode Island.
Wound-socket. There you go.
That was something dirty you learned back in Vietnam when you were in Saigon.
So, Newsarama just crashed on me. Okay.
That's a quality. That right there is a quality site.
Okay, there we go. Adam says the crawl space should do a field trip to see that Ditko play. I'm all about that. I think that'd be kind of funny. Holy crap, this is amazing, says Jonathan. Rand did have a huge impact in his life. Maybe
I just love that they to make it interesting. They use Rand.
I think
as his spirit animal.
Honestly,
like she's over his shoulder talking about A is A.
I would go see that Ditko play. Would everybody go? I think it'd be hysterical. Absolutely hysterical.
We should do a live stream.
All right. That is a news episode. Let's write any final thoughts on the Ditko play.
This is a great nightcap for my cigar.
All right. Let's go around the horn for final thoughts, JR.
I want to go back and talk about Spider-Man costumes some more for Halloween.
I don't.
Hey, legitimately, I want to know what Chi-Town thinks of the dime store Spider-Man costumes as our resident Spider-Man on the show.
The dime store Spider-Man.
It all depends on how professional and how accurate they want to be. Everyone has a different opinion, so.
Yeah. So, final thoughts, Zach.
This has been a great episode. I've had a barrel of laughs, especially at Brad's expense.
Yeah, I noticed. Chi-Town, final thoughts.
Thanks, guys, for having me on.
Hey, you're always welcome, sir. George, are we going to make up? I think we did with that.
Are we at odds?
No. It's what is it? Arachnid Fats? That just was the killer.
Arachnid Fats. Yeah.
Arachnid Fats is killer. That was awesome. So we'll end it there. A couple questions from the YouTube chat. Zach, are you excited that there's going to be a Stan Lee Marvel Legend figure?
I legitimately am. I'm surprised you didn't make this a news topic because at New York Comic Con this weekend they announced a Target exclusive Stan Lee figure complete with a Captain America shield with his signature on it.
Adam also says the hottest Spider-Man Halloween costume is a fat guy Spider-Man kicking a door is what Arachnid Fats coming to a Target near you. You could wear the Arachnid Fats outfit. Let's see.
Like Hershey trying to frame Spider-Man.
First of all,
the guy was so tubby. You got to be careful because, like, with legs that thick, I was like, dude, you're gonna break your leg and gravy's gonna run out in a minute. I
mean, by the way, Hershey, I resent that remark that you made on the YouTube chat.
What?
Yeah.
What did he say?
He said, "I can't smoke a cigar to save my life."
Oh.
You puff, but you don't inhale. You do the Bill Clinton method of things, okay?
And just so we don't stop, I gotta see Arachnid Fats in action one more time.
I think we need to get some final thoughts from you.
We need action music on this, like John Cena music or something.
don't know why I just went into the SWAT theme.
Yeah, I don't know why you were doing thing from SWAT.
Real quick, we'll take a couple questions before we call it a night.
Boom, ba boom, boom, ba boom.
This is the guy who got his burger stolen. Whoa! What is this? Haunted house.
This is not the guy that got his burger stolen.
Hold on.
Yeah, make it
Douglas.
burger.
It's the guy doing a Kirby hand, though. Look at that.
What am I doing? Okay. Whoa! I'm back to Ditko plays. Hold
Raise
on.
your hand if you produce stuff for a living.
Okay, let's just look at Ayn Rand looking at Ditko there. That's awesome. Okay, I love it.
He's so judgy there. He's like,
Well, I mean, A is A.
you have objectively failed me.
Cheers to that. That was a good one there, Berryman. Well done.
Yeah.
There's another Ayn Rand picture. Hold on. Let's see. It's gonna if it crashes on me. There you go. Like she's really giving them the side view, isn't she?
Oh,
Man.
You mean the side eye?
The side eye, yeah.
Yeah, you can't even get the phrase right.
And he's removed from the stream. Okay.
Oh, that was cold, bro. Oh, man.
It's like the Gong Show. Brad's like Chuck Paris now, dude. He's like,
Goodbye, George. Okay.
You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
What?
Goodbye.
oh, God.
We've given Brad too much power right now.
They want to know about a CW Spider-Man show.
There would be a lot of angstiness.
As an Archie fan, I have no interest in a Spider-Man GW show.
Actually, you know what? I'll say this: if it's by the same,
No, stop. No, I will hunt you down.
Okay, the people. I've
down.
enjoyed the Flash. I've enjoyed the Arrowverse. If it was the same people that did the Arrowverse, I would enjoy a CW produced Spider-Man show.
Yeah.
Because for the most part, they lean more into superheroics and not so much. There's a little bit of angst, but
I finally gave up on all that crap because it started getting so preachy.
However, I am interested
Will they
in
go back to
Linda
an
Carter
island
coming back as Wonder Woman, and Burt Ward as Robin, and Tom
dude,
Welling
Crisis on Infinite Earths, I
Superman.
am super
No,
pumped for
Burt
that.
Ward is not coming. I would be real. No, I don't think Burt Ward is going to be coming back as Robin.
I bet you he will be. Why else is he on the show?
Is he going to be on the show?
He's confirmed.
He's confirmed.
So
He's
Linda
making
Carter,
noise on the show, too.
Linda Carter's coming back as Wonder Woman, Brad?
Yeah.
All right,
Tom Welling, and you
remind
got
me again, where's Wonder Woman from?
the mascara.
Oh, he finally got it right. It only took a major motion picture for him to finally get the phrase right.
10 years.
Danny D says they need to make an arachnid fat suit in the next Spider-Man game.
That'll be the number one costume next year.
Douglas. You need to email the guys over at Insomniac and say, look, you need this as an alternate suit. Just name him Arachnifats.
Arachnid fat.
Adam says Ditko looks like the guy that played Scarecrow. This guy looks like the guy that played Scarecrow in the movie.
Yeah, he kind of did.
Kieran,
something like that. Yeah.
Hines.
Yeah.
Oh.
The only other thing I ever saw that dude in was Red Eye.
Okay, you ready for it, Hershey? I'm gonna do my Thanos snap. Zach, come back. There you go.
Hey, he went from being Thanos to the Hulk.
Oh yeah. A lot of talking in hallways and somber soap opera music. Is that for the make a movie out of a fat Spider-Man from El Paso? Yeah, let's do that. That'd probably be better than Webb.
Hey, now there's a question for me by Symbio, bro.
There you go.
Arachnid fats and the symbiote kid.
Okay, I'm trying to think who could play a nerdy yet sporty.
Who would you cast for a live-action Spider-Girl is the question.
George, who do you think? Who pops in your head?
I don't know. Teenage actresses aren't high on my list right now, dude.
The gal they've been talking about for Kate Bishop on the Hawkeye show. She was in that True Grit movie. I think she's a great young actress.
She's a little young, but the girl that's in Stranger Things wouldn't be bad.
Natalie Portman from The Professional. That's my pick. Which we can.
I want Tobey Maguire and Kirsten Dunst to come back as their reprise roles for the Spider-Man.
Oh, that'd be fun.
I just don't see Tobey wearing a goatee though. I mean,
why would he have to have one?
Because if you're going to be comics accurate, sir, you would have the goatee.
They don't give a crap about comics accurate.
They really don't.
Well, I mean, if you're going in a ideal world, you would have Ron Friends and Tom DeFalco.
In an ideal world, we wouldn't have Iron Man Jr.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, Haley Steinfeld. Yeah, I agree with that, Neil. I plus one that.
Vinkman, where did I hear Linda Carter? Was it from Cosmic Book News? Who knows? At this point,
well, look,
now the fans are turning on me. Sucking
fans.
I'm gonna say sucking George on my name next time.
Sucking viewers.
Kevin Conroy is going to be on the Crisis.
Oh yeah, he is. Yeah, I saw that.
I think that's who Burt Ward. Like, it's going to be Kevin Conroy and Burt Ward playing.
They couldn't get Mark Hamill
to be Joker.
I mean, if Kevin Conroy's going to be on there, I mean, why can't they get Mark Hamill?
I think
Hamill's done the Flash before.
Yeah,
well, Hamill was on the Flash show as the Trickster.
Yeah, I'm saying he could come back and be the Joker.
Yeah, no, I would pay money to see Mark Hamill.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing though. He doesn't do that voice live action. He's been very vocal about that. Like he does it. Like even when he was telling a story one time that like his daughter used to want him to talk like the Joker all the time, and he made his daughter look away. In fact, the only footage I've ever seen him do it is there was like a making of the Mask of the Phantasm movie.
Yeah,
and they were showing they were showing them with like Andrea Romano was going through it, the voice director at the time, and they were showing some of the actors doing their lines in the booth and everything, and the only thing they showed of Hamill was a close up of his mouth during the lap, and that was pretty cool. But he's like got a big thing about that. He's like, I don't want people to see me when I do it.
But after he did, I think it was what was it, Arkham? Was it Arkham City that Joker died in that universe? I think he did. That somebody had him do the monologue, one of the monologues from Killing Joke, and he actually read the monologue like at a panel somewhere.
So we were talking about the cosplay and arachnid fats. This was just at the New York Comic Con. They were doing the Spider-Verse pointing meme.
Oh, that's great.
I think that's kind of a cute little picture.
Look, having been to like San Diego fairly recently, I mean, it's been 7 years, but
fairly recently,
but within the last 10 years. But I love when all the Spider-Man cosplayers get together and like when we got Aha's Take on Me and they're doing like the running through San Diego. That to me that was hilarious, and they're all like. It's like they're all on a line, so it looks like they're running real fast.
Another thing, back in what was it? Spider-Man Annual number 20, right before the wedding. Spider-Man teamed up with Iron Man 2020, and Dan Slott is going to write this. Iron Man 2020, where Arno is in the suit again. And Tony Stark's dead, it looks like. What do you guys think of this?
It's Dan Slott doing his continuity porn and making Iron Man fans suffer through his continuity porn.
It's a non-starter for me. Anything with Slott's a non-starter.
I never really liked Arno Stark in that annual either. Did you guys?
No, he was. There's a reason that character didn't. I mean, he had like what 5 appearances, and nobody gives a bleep about him, except for Dan Slott.
Yeah.
Good night, everyone.
And on that note,
good night, JR. See you, buddy.
Good night. Good night, sweet prince.
Sweet prince?
Neil's like, stop, Brad. Well, that's a wrap on that episode. I hope you liked it. One more time before we wrap it all up, I want to remind you about patreon.com/crawlspace. Log on there to get exclusive thank you content, which one of them is the Spider Satellites, where we review all the books that aren't amazing on that episode. That's a thank you to people that help support this podcast and our website each and every month through Patreon. There's also several other podcasts that are up there that are fun to listen to that I think you'll get a kick out of. But again, it's patreon.com/crawlspace for exclusive content and also support things you like this podcast. Thanks for listening, everybody.